Hello guys, John here. Thank you very much for tuning into my video. So this topic will be based around copyright. Something happened to me yesterday, or I noticed it yesterday, and it's been pretty devastating to say the least on my Amazon Merch account. And it's just got me thinking that if you're new to the platform, this is something that you really have to understand and something that you really need to be aware of, because it will in the long run really hurt your business. Now, I'm still relatively new to the game and I'm still learning every single day, but this was a tough lesson for me to learn, unfortunately, so I'll explain. I put a design up quite a while back. This was one of my first designs. It was a very high selling design, considering to my account anyway. It was pretty much gaining sales every single day within the last month or so. It was really picking up. It even got to the point where it was below the 100,000 BSR mark, and I believe that might have been what triggered Amazon or whoever it was to actually go into an in-depth search of the actual product itself. And I noticed in the last couple of days that my sales, if you can see my dashboard here, my sales had stopped. So I was wondering why is my design stopped selling, and it was still on my dashboard, and I decided to click on the design and I was greeted with this lovely page. Lola the dog, hello. So the design wasn't live on Amazon anymore, and it explains my drop in sales. And basically what had happened was I contacted Amazon, contacted people on Reddit, and they were a lot of mixed help, but people genuinely try to help. Amazon had investigated the matter and they finally came up with the conclusion this morning. Essentially my design, it was original content, I created it from scratch. However, one of the keywords that I put in the bullet point was a copyrighted keyword. That's right, I wasn't aware of this at the time. In fact, I've actually noticed that several hundred, if not thousands, of people use this exact same word in a lot of their keywords. So how does it get through? How did it escape the automatic review? And that's exactly what it is. It is an automatic review. People aren't manually reviewing your designs, so some of your designs may actually escape through the cracks, even if it does have something copyrighted on it. Now, this is what happened. My design was actually taken down. Instead of them giving me the opportunity to change this keyword within a bullet point, because I left that for so long and I wasn't aware that this was happening, they actually just more or less shut the design down. So I put the exact same shirt back on, I fixed that keyword, but now I don't have a BSR rank for it anymore, and now there's loads of copycats for this exact same design that use my exact same keywords and pretty much my exact same design right down to a T. They actually use the exact same keywords, copied it that much that they have actually now got that copyright word within their listing, so eventually that will get took down too. But it just got me thinking that you really, if you're new to the platform, you really need to be careful of copyright. Now, this is not just your design, this is right down to your description. It could be the smallest of things. If you have uploaded something and you're not 100% sure if even just the word in the description is copyrighted, then I would just advise you to double check it and make sure you remove that word before Amazon just takes your design down, because that's what happened. My design has now officially been taken off, and I won't get any more sales for that. And it's, as you can see my dashboard here, it's really impacted on my business. So yeah, I would say you have to be very careful when it comes to copyright and trademark, anything like that. It's not just the designs, it is your keywords, it is your descriptions, your bullet points. In my case, it was literally one word that I thought was actually okay, because loads of other people had the exact same word in their designs. But as it says, some of your designs will slip through the cracks, but eventually Amazon will catch on. 100% they'll catch on. You may make a couple of sales and it may be a great design, but they will catch on. So just be very careful and double check your designs that you're not 100% sure about, or you're going to end up pretty much like me and it will get taken down. You will not be notified. I wasn't notified, it just happened. So yeah guys, be very careful out there. Going forward now, this is utterly demoralising. My sales are next to nil now. This was the one that pretty much, it was my golden ticket design. It was the one that sold very regularly when nothing else was selling. This was still selling, and now that's not there, so it seems to have impacted on everything else. I mean, I have other designs that do sell quite frequently, but I don't know what's going on. It's like they're not being seen anymore. But again, it's anytime you do get a design that it pretty much gets copied instantly. As soon as it starts selling and picks up a BSR rate, and it gets copied very, very quickly. My design was very much original, and no one had this design at all. I made it up more or less from the top of my head. The only thing I did use was a copyrighted word that was in the bullet point. I noticed obviously yesterday when I typed it into the Amazon search, because someone on Reddit advised me to type it into Amazon search and see if it comes up that way. Mine wasn't there. A couple of variants were there, the coloured variants. The non-selling coloured variants was there, and about 120 different designs that were basically replicated the one that I made, right down to the point they used the exact same title, the same brand name, the same descriptions, the same bullet points, and the same copyrighted word. So they will get their design taken down eventually, as soon as it starts to make any form of progress. So the coloured variants, they weren't selling very well. Well, pretty much didn't sell at all. I think maybe one or two sales on one of them, and that was about it. I've since went on to this design and I've taken out that specific keyword. I don't think this keyword was really what drove the traffic initially to the design, but it was the demise of a design, unfortunately. So again guys, just be very, very careful what you're doing. Like, make sure that everything that you do for your design is 100% original content. I mean, of course you can use normal words in your designs, but just if it's a brand, or if it's a company, or if it's anything that remotely replicates any form of business or anything, just don't do it. It is not worth it. Yeah, this is really severely impacted on my account, and it's just the start of the Q4. This was a really unique holiday design. It was for obviously that it was a perfect one for this season, and it was probably going to be the one that, if anything, was going to get me to the higher tiers and the much bigger sales. As I says, it was under 100,000 BSR. It picked up pretty quickly, and now obviously it's been taken down. So it's been a learning curve. If anything, it is definitely a learning curve. So I can't really complain. I just wish they maybe gave me a chance to actually just remove this keyword, but they didn't. They had just taken it down. But as I said, it's a learning curve. You just got to look forward and just keep going. Like, I just have to start making more and more designs. Be very, very careful. So now I'll be even more vigilant with everything that I do regarding my designs, and just make sure that obviously descriptions are on par, branding is on par, every single word is on par, no copyrighted keywords going in the future. So if you do have this problem, if you've come across this problem, then this is probably the reason why. It's not, I can't guarantee that's the reason why, but this is probably the reason why it's happened to yourself too. It is a horrible thing. Like, Amazon are pretty ruthless when it comes to anything like that, and understandably so. They're a massive company. Like, they're not wanting to get sued, of course, for basically your own independent designs. They don't want to get sued for that. We're essentially freelance graphics designers, and we're putting them in a position where they can get in trouble, so I can understand why they do it. But in this case, I really think they should have given me a chance to just take that keyword off, but as I says, it's a learning curve. So looking forward to the future. Anyway guys, how are you all doing? Like, how's your sales going? How's your Q4 going? Mine's is stopped to a halt unfortunately, but I hope yours is doing pretty well. What tier are you on? I'm sitting at tier 500. I don't think I'm going to tier up anytime soon, but my main goal right now is just to try and get as much of those 500 designs full as I possibly can. I've been exploring a little bit of the UK market. I'm going to probably look more into that after the Christmas period, but I've put a couple of designs up, still haven't had a sale. I think this is just a much tougher market, to be fair, and it's just because obviously there's not as much traffic and it's just a bit different, but I know some people will be killing it on the UK market. Designed a few more pop sockets, not had any recent pop socket sales unfortunately. There is one that I've had a couple of sales for. It was initially a design that I'd done in a t-shirt, and I just replicated it and put it onto a pop socket, and it's done okay. A couple of sales, nothing major. But again, this is probably something I'm going to look into a bit more. Pop sockets is apparently something really big right now that's doing great for Amazon Merch. Also, the new content policy. This has opened up a massive marketplace for everyone, although this is something that I was kind of looking into yesterday. A while ago I had actually put up a design that was regarding obviously profanity, drugs. It was a kind of parody for weed, and it was like a legalised cannabis parody that I'd done, and a while ago I'd uploaded it. This was before this new legislation had come out, and it got rejected. Obviously I wasn't aware of the content policy at that point in time. I've uploaded it since, and it has went through, but I done a search on Amazon. Now this is the thing that I don't quite understand. I tried to find it in the results, and it was pretty far back. There was loads and loads and loads of designs. It was more or less in the same wavelength of what I'd done, but these designs were actually dated from 2016. So, and the keywords were definitely drug related, cannabis related. Like there's a picture of a cannabis leaf. It specifically says in the title, cannabis leaf. So how the hell did they get their designs up in 2016? And these are definitely Amazon Merch designs, and yet apparently this policy has only just been pushed through. Is this another case of some designs have slipped through the cracks, and now they've changed the legislation that they've actually gotten away with it? I'm not sure, but if anyone knows about that, I'd be very interested to know, because it seems that even though the new marketplaces or new niches have more or less been opened up to everyone, it seems that people are already kind of exploring these marketplaces anyway, so it's like some of them are actually already saturated. It's a very tough world out there. The competition is just it's so tough. So right now I'm just kind of trying to find new ideas, new designs. It's very tough to come across a design that hasn't already been done, come up with an idea, keyword, niche that hasn't already been done. So, I mean, that's the struggles. I suppose that is the struggles. And again, as soon as you do start making any sort of traction, start making any sort of sales, people just copy it. And I mean, they copy it. They don't just make a similar variant. They make your shirt essentially, and they post it as their own and start trying to get royalties that way. I do know that there's ways that you can get that taken down. I'm not 100% sure how to do that, but I know there is ways that you can do that. That's something I will definitely be looking into in the future. Also, my AMS, someone had got back to me and told me how to fix my AMS, because my AMS was actually connecting to my KDP, and I had no idea how to actually fix that. But basically it was just a case of I had to make a a brand new account, a new Amazon.com account, and just upload it like that. So I've requested the vendor invitation and I'm just waiting. Don't know if I'm going to use this, to be honest. Like, I'm really skeptical. Like, is it worth paying advertising? Amazon already has the traffic source, and again, as soon as you start making sales, it's gonna get copied. So it's like, Amazon's definitely a numbers game, and I think you just need to keep making original content to kind of stay ahead of the competition, because your designs will definitely get replicated as soon as you start making any headway. And I believe this is probably thanks to Merck-Informer. Merck-Informer is what's tracking everyone's BSR, and it's what's basically, it's a great tool for people to use. 100% great tool for people to use, especially newcomers. I mean, I use it more for ideas. I do not copy people's designs. I don't believe in it. I don't get the satisfaction of someone wearing my design that isn't actually my design. I prefer to know that when somebody purchases my design, it's because they liked my original content. I made that from scratch. It came initially from here, and obviously I made that. So for me, that's more satisfying than just making a $3 royalty, etc. But Merck-Informer is a great tool for anyone essentially, but it really is exploiting people. Like, it's really exploiting people's designs. Anyone that is making any form of headway is definitely exploiting them. So anyway guys, yeah, I think I've more or less covered everything I want to cover in this video. I probably will be posting another video later on today. It's something I found for people with mobile phones or tabs. Well, pretty much everyone has a mobile phone or a tab. It's a little logo graphics design that is actually really good for making pop sockets on the go. Like, so if you're going to work and you stay far away, you're on a bus, you're on a train, you've got, I don't know, 15 minutes to spare, then this is a great little way to actually just start throwing up pop sockets, as opposed to having to stick to your computer. So yeah, I'll probably upload that later on. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you like the video, please leave a like. If you've got anything to add, comment, and if you want to see more content, please subscribe. Cheers.